How you guys doing? Eugene Johnson, founder of Make Your Mind an Asset. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how not having enough time is actually a blessing. Have you ever heard people complain about not having enough time, saying I have too many pots on the stove, too many irons on the fire, I gotta get my ducks in a row, and you don't even own the duck? What are you talking about, right? But most people are complaining and saying I don't have enough time, and that's why I can't achieve my goals. That's why I can't have success. This is their philosophy, and here's what I want to shift your philosophy. Not by telling you you're wrong. Here's how I'm going to shift your philosophy. By telling you that not having enough time is actually a blessing in disguise. Now, you might have thought that that is a hindrance. Not having enough time. If I don't have enough time, I can't do the things that I want to do. If I can't do the things that I want to do, then how do I have success, right? But you don't have to worry about that. And here's why not having enough time is actually a benefit. Because not having enough time forces you to cut out and filter the unimportant. Because a lot of people say, well, I don't have enough time, yet they watch Game of Thrones every week. They say, I don't have enough time, but Silicon Valley is on their DVR. They say, I don't have enough time, but they're watching the NBA Warriors game. Look, at the end of the day, it's not that you don't have enough time, it's that you haven't set the proper priorities for the things that you deem important in your life. Because we say we don't have enough time, we might even say we don't have enough time for the important things, like saying I don't have enough time to spend time with my kids, or I don't have enough time to go on a vacation, or I don't have enough time. We constantly use the excuse of not having enough time. But the focus should be on setting your priorities in order and saying I need to prioritize the things that are important to me and then take the things off that aren't important to me. If you have a weekly bowling night or a weekly basketball night, or you spend hours on YouTube, or get this, hours scrolling doing this, if you do that, you can't complain about not having enough time. See, there's not anything wrong with any of those things. I love watching the Warriors games when they play. I love getting a chance to watch Silicon Valley. I think that's the funniest, show on TV when it comes to business. And so I don't mind those things. Those things are not a bad thing. But here's the thing you have to do is you got to set where that lies and your set of priorities. Maybe it might be some days where I can't watch, basketball. My favorite team, the New York Knicks. I love watching the New York Knicks play because I am a New Yorker at heart, right? And so when I want to watch the Knicks play, now when the season is going on, there are 82 games in a season. That's 164 hours of basketball. Now, I would love to sit down and watch 164 hours of basketball, but I don't have that type of time. Or I can't fit that into my daily schedule during the day because my time from 6 in the morning till about midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning is usually packed up. Almost every single day outside of Sunday is my family day. So when I have a schedule like that, I can't just throw in a basketball game for 2 hours in the middle of a day unless I can do that and do other things and work at the same time. But most of the time I can't do that. So when I can't do that, what do? Do I say, oh, well, I'm not going to watch any basketball? Sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I'll do little spurts of that. But most of the time I'll just say, you know what? I want to watch it, but it's not that high on a priority list. What I'm going to do is I'm going to record it and go watch it later. I'm going to watch it at 1 o'clock in the morning. And does that mean I have to have an hour less sleep or 2 hours less sleep? Maybe. Maybe I just have 2 hours less sleep if I really want to watch it. But there's times that I look at my schedule the next day and I say, I don't want to sacrifice those 2 hours, so guess what I do? I don't watch it. Because it didn't sit at the top of my priority list, I didn't let the thing that I might have a temporary excitement for, I didn't let that take the place of the most important things in my life. I love entertainment, but I don't spend all of my time in entertainment and no time in achievement. And a lot of times people are spending a lot of time in entertainment, but no time in achievement. And I get it. If you got to work a 9-to-5 job and you got to go to work at 9 o'clock and you get off at 5, and I get it, you're tired. But putting in that extra 2, 3, 4 hours a night, sometimes it might be hard. Sometimes you might have a lot going on your plate. Sometimes you got a lot of stuff going on with the family and a lot of things are happening. But not having that time forces you to be focused in the time that you do have and saying to yourself, all right, if I'm going to put 2 hours, if I'm going to put 3 hours away from my family, away from my favorite TV show, away from my sports, away from the things that I care about, if I'm going to take 2 or 3 hours to focus on achievement, then that 2 or 3 hours are going to be focused time. I'm gonna put all of my effort in those 2, 3, 4 hours. Now when you put that time in and you prioritize it, now then afterwards you can go do whatever other things. But when you don't have time, it forces you to be precise. It forces you to be focused. It forces you to funnel those things and really kind of put those things that you do through a drainer, and only the important things fall out of that drainer. That's what you want to do. That's what not having enough time forces you to do. When you don't have a lot of time, it forces you to say, okay, I don't have a lot of time. Here's what time I do have. How do I properly align that to the things that I need to do? Because busy people get more done. They understand that they're busy, but they're not gonna let that be an excuse. More time doesn't make you more effective. I remember in my first business, when I first started working full time, I thought that, man, this is gonna be the life. I get a chance to work full time on my business. All I'm gonna do is focus on my business. And I hadn't at the time built up a process to be able to work for myself. So I was so used to somebody else working for somebody else, and them telling me, you know, what time to be at work and what to do at work. So when I started working for myself on my own time, I didn't know how to handle it. So I thought that, man, I'm on my own time. I do what I want. I'm my own boss. So when I had all of the time in the world, I started spending more time watching TV. I started spending more time playing basketball. I started spending more time doing a whole bunch of fluff stuff and doing the same amount of work that I was doing when I was working on a part-time basis. See, that's called ineffective. And it took me years, literally almost 2 years, to figure out how to work for myself, how to work when I have a lot of time, and how to fill my calendar so that I became busy again. Because when I was working and working my business at the time for my first company, I didn't have much time. And then when I dropped the job and I started working the business full time, then I had all of the time in the world, but I didn't know how to make myself busy again. And so what you need to do is strive to become busy. Being busy is the beginning of effectiveness. And the reason why I say the beginning of effectiveness is because just because you're busy doesn't mean you're effective. You could be like an octopus on roller skates, a whole lot of activity, but not really going anywhere. So you don't want to be that. You want to have focused activity, which is why I said prioritize and then get busy with doing what you need to do. And the busier you get, the more you have to plan, the more you have to schedule, the more you have to focus your efforts, the more you have to prioritize. And those things are so important when it comes to your success. And don't get caught making the excuse of I don't have time. Because if you're saying that I don't have time and that's why I can't have success, then there's a likelihood that you're not effectively taking the time that you have, because we all have 24 hours in a day. The question is what you do with your 24 hours to make yourself effective and allow you to achieve the goals that you set before yourself. Hope you was able to take a nugget or two from that and actually apply it to your life. Once again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. We need your subscription. Subscribe right there, subscribe. Also, make sure you like this video, comment, share, if you know somebody who's making the excuse of I don't have time, share this with them. Show them that the idea of not having time is only exposing them and showing their inability to prioritize, their inability to be focused, and their inability to manage their schedule. So I hope that this video was able to help, and remember, like always, let no man steal your vision, because no man gave it to you. God bless. Or like my good friend John C. Maxwell likes to say, Big Mo. Now, momentum is difficult to get and hard to keep when you have it.